So fiber optics is nothing but the science of transmitting data, voice and images and videos, of course, through the thin and transparent fiber. So through the thin and transparent fiber, so fibers are nothing but, so they have very simple construction in them. Okay, so they are very thin. Their diameters, okay, are very thin, whereas the length can be thousands of kilometers. Okay, so these fibers can be made by using transparent materials such as glass or plastic, clear plastics. So through that plastics, we can see inside what is happening inside. So such kind of clear plastics can also used for preparation of optical fibers. So here optics is related to light. Okay, fiber is nothing but the one waveguide which guides the light through it. So fiber optics is nothing but the technology where data, voice, images and any kind of information can be sent from the transmitter to the receiver, such that at the receiver the users can access what is present in the data. Okay, so the basic medium of fiber optics is nothing but a hair thin fiber that is sometimes made by clear plastics or most often glass. So mostly glass is preferred, but since glass is breakable, so in order to provide much flexibility from breaking, okay, so sometimes we may use clear plastics for designing optical fibers. So optical fiber is a waveguide which is used for optical communication, whose function is to guide the light wave. Okay, so here it is nothing but a waveguide. Waveguide allows the light to flow through it, okay, to pass through it. So it guides the wave throughout its length, how it should travel inside of it. So as we have discussed, optical communication, so is nothing but a communication where light is used for communicating the required data from one end to the another end. And practical optical fiber has in general three coaxial regions. So generally, if you consider different regions present in the optical fiber, so it is basically divided into three regions. So those are nothing but core, cladding and sheath. Okay, so if you see the structure of optical fiber, it looks like this. Okay, so the innermost region is known as core. Okay, so which is nothing but the light guiding region. So if you want to send the information through the light from one place to another place, so we have to incident that light inside the core. So here the diameter of this core is very less. Okay, so if you look at the innermost region diameter, so its diameter is nothing but the length from one end to another end of any kind of circle. So if you look at it, so it looks like a circle inside of it. So that is why if you consider the diameter of core, it is in the order of 50 micrometer. That is very small. And it is surrounded by another coaxial region. So that is known as cladding. So cladding protects the core from any kind of damages. Okay, if you consider the diameter of this cladding, so it is from 125. So the second region, here you can look at it. So the second region diameter is from 125 micrometer to 200 micrometer. So coming to the different optical fibers, these values can be varied based on how many light rays can be traveled through them. Okay, but in general, it is constructed in such a way. And the other coaxial region is nothing but buffer coating. Okay, it is also known as sheath. So core and cladding both are designed with the help of either glass or clear plastic, but the outer region is made by only plastic. Okay, so it protects. So most of the optical fibers are constructed with the help of glass as the medium. So that is why, in order to protect core and cladding from any kind of damage from external environments, such as pressure, such as moisture, humidity, so any kind of external disasters. Okay, so to avoid the breakage of such glasses, okay, from external factors. So it is necessary to protect the inner region safely. So that is why sheet, okay, sheet provides extra safety for the inner regions like core and cladding. So they protect them from operations, means physical pressure, okay, and contamination. So if there is any kind of dust particles, any other kind of materials present in the ground, under the ground, because all these optical fiber cables are laid under the ground, okay. So that is why it is necessary to protect that glass or plastic from any kind of contaminations, okay. So here sheet gives the protection such kind of contaminations, and similarly any kind of harmful moistures, etc. So that is why it is necessary to give the extra protection from any kind of external damages. So basically optical fiber is made by three coaxial regions. So where core is the guiding factor, okay, cladding healthy core in order to stay light inside the core itself, and means it tries to keep all the incident light inside the core, and it will avoid any kind of light which is going beyond the core. So the usefulness of cladding is to keep the light inside the core, whereas the protective cover, so which is nothing but the buffer coating, help the cladding and core from any kind of external damage. So this is how the optical fiber is constructed. Next, coming to the working principle of optical fiber. So all the optical fibers use the principle called total internal reflection as a guiding principle. So what is this total internal reflection? So let us see. So whenever any light ray is incident from denser medium to rarer medium, so sometimes it experiences complete reflection, okay, so without bending at the surface, so it completely comes back into the same medium from where we have incident that light ray. So this phenomenon, this process is nothing but total internal reflection, okay. So here you can observe the process of total internal reflection. So consider here we have shown one red arrow, okay, that is nothing but the incident light. So we are incidenting a light ray from denser medium to rarer medium. Denser medium means it has higher refractive index. Rarer medium has a lower refractive index than the denser medium. So whenever we are incidenting light ray from denser medium to rarer medium, so we know that from the concept of refraction, so light ray bends at the surface and it bends away from the normal and enters the rarer medium, okay. So whenever we are going to increase the incident angle from denser medium, so at that time the light ray still bends away from the normal, and at certain angle it just settles down on the surface of the two media, separating two media. So this kind of uh, angle, okay, so at which there is that means the refracted ray settles down on the two separating media surface, that kind of angle, that kind of incident angle is nothing but critical angle. So at that time the angle will be 90 degree, okay. So the critical angle is nothing but the 90 degree, so at which the refracted ray settles down on the surface of the media, separating beyond the critical angle, okay. If we still increasing the incident angle beyond critical angle, that time there is no refraction at all. So the reflected ray, okay, so the ray which we are expecting will come back into the same medium. So here that is shown by green ray, okay. So here blue ray represents the refracted ray, so green ray represents the reflected ray completely, which comes back into the same medium from where we have incident, it comes back into the same medium. This process is nothing but the total internal reflection. So optical fibers use the same principle for transferring the data. So according to the Snell's law, if we write the expression for Snell's law, then sin I by sin R equal to N1 by N2. So this is how the incident and reflected and diffractive indices are related together. Okay, so here the ray of light is incident such that an angle that means the angle of refraction becomes 90 degree. Okay, so then sin IC, okay, so is nothing but N1 by N2. Okay, from this what we will get? So sin R is 90, sin 90 is 1. That is why sin IC is nothing but the N1 by N2. So here IC is nothing but the incident angle for which the refractive angle will become 90 degree. So IC can be found out with the help of this expression, IC equal to sin inverse N1 by N2. So IC here is nothing but critical angle. So if we increase incident angle beyond this critical angle, then there is no refraction at all. The light ray comes back into the same medium, which is known as total internal reflection. So in total internal reflection, the intensity is not diminished, means the intensity of light is not going to be reduced. So that is the advantage of total internal reflection. So there is no decrement in the brightness. So if you look at it, so this is how we are going to incident light inside the core. So while we are incidenting the light inside the core, so we need to consider few factors relating to the optical fibers. Those are acceptance angle and acceptance cone. So here acceptance angle is nothing but the maximum angle from the fiber axis at which light ray enter the fiber so that it will propagate in the core by total internal reflection. That means this is the maximum incident angle by which we are incidenting, means we are sending the light inside the core such that it will undergo total internal reflection, okay, and travel safely inside the core of the optical fiber. Okay, so this is nothing but acceptance angle. So here this theta, okay, so from this figure you can see fiber optic axis at the center. So the angle between this fiber optic axis and the incident ray is nothing but the maximum acceptance angle. Okay, so after that, if you rotate the fiber axis with respect to fiber core diameter, so then we will obtain one cone. Okay, so this tells us the optical power coupling inside the core. So that cone is nothing but acceptance cone, means whenever this acceptance is very large at the time, so we will have the maximum incident light inside the core. So that is how maximum, the acceptance angle and acceptance cone tell us how much light is propagating through the core at a given time. So these were decided by the acceptance angle and acceptance cone of incident light. So if the acceptance angle and acceptance cone are large, so the fiber is capable of transmitting large amount of data through that. So this is how acceptance angle and acceptance cone decide how much ability of the, the ability of the core. So that is capable of transmitting light rays through it. So next coming to the numerical, another important parameter of optical fibers, that is nothing but a numerical aperture. So it tells us the measure of the ability of an optical fiber to collect and to confine the incident light ray inside it. That means whenever we incident light ray inside the optical fiber, so acceptance angle tells that how well the core can transmit that data inside of it. So acceptance cone also tell us the same, how much light can be passed through it. So here, if we can measure that ability, so then that is nothing but numerical aperture. So it tells us the ability of an optical fiber to collect how much data we are transmitting to it and to confine it only in the core itself. it will not distribute the light which is incidenting inside the core to cladding or any other coatings present in the optical fiber. So that ability is determined with the help of numerical aperture. So we can calculate this numerical aperture with the help of the following formula. So that is nothing but numerical aperture of optical fiber. So is given as the sine value of incident angle. This incident angle is nothing but acceptance angle. Okay. So when we measure the acceptance angle of optical fiber, if you find the sine value of that optical fiber's acceptance angle, then it is nothing but the numerical aperture. Or else we can find out numerical aperture with the help of refractive indices of core and cladding. Okay. So if you know refractive index of core, that is nothing but N1, so which is always greater than the cladding, and N2 is the refractive index of the cladding, so which is smaller than the core. So if we know these two refractive indices, okay, so N1 and N2, so if you square them and find out their difference, and then if you find the square root value of that value, so then it is nothing but the numerical aperture. Or else we will have another formula, so that is given with the help of refractive indices difference. Okay, so that is nothing but delta. So Na can also be find out with the help of this formula, N1 into square root of 2 times of delta. Okay, so here this delta represents the fractional difference between refractive indices, so which is given by using the expression delta equal to N1 minus N2 by N1. So we can find out using this formula or else that formula. So if you know refractive indices, we can find out the numerical aperture, or else if we know acceptance angle, so we can find out the numerical aperture. So numerical aperture tells us the ability of the optical to concentrate whatever incident light inside of it to keep inside the core itself. Okay, so that is nothing but numerical aperture. So next, coming to the modes of propagation through optical fibers. So just now we have discussed that inside the optical fiber core, so light propagates by the principle known as total internal reflection. So if you look at the light rays will propagate inside the optical fiber like this. So whenever the incident light at the angle greater than critical angle, so it is necessary for all the light rays to undergo total internal reflection. So total internal reflection is like nothing but whenever it strikes the surface, it comes back into the same medium. So here you can observe it clearly. So no matter how many light rays are incident, so they will follow along the length of the fiber optic cable by the principle called total internal reflection. So here, whenever the light rays are propagating through the optical fiber cable, so these light rays are divided into different rays. So those are nothing but axial rays and zigzag rays based on how they are transmitting inside the optical fiber cable. So axial rays are nothing but the rays that travel along the axis of fiber. So here at the center we have dashed line. So that is nothing but the fiber axis. Okay, optical fiber axis which is located at the center. So if any light ray travels along the fiber optic axis, that ray is nothing but zero order ray. Okay, so on the other rays, so which has a zigzag path, so those are known as zigzag rays. So among the zigzag rays we have two kinds of rays. So one is lower order ray and the one is higher order ray. So lower order ray is nothing but the zigzag ray which takes a longer path to travel. Okay, so whereas higher order ray is nothing but the light ray which takes least path to travel inside the fiber optic cable. So here, since they have time differences, there can be propagation loss present in such kind of zigzag rays. So totally we have three kinds of modes of propagation that are supported by the optical fibers. Those are nothing but zero order ray, higher order ray and lower order ray. And next our topic is nothing but classification of optical fibers. So what are different kinds of optical fibers available? Let us discuss now. So optical fibers are divided into many categories based on three things. Those are nothing but material with which they are made up of, and then number of modes supported by each optical fiber, and refractive index profile. Refractive index profile of core. Okay, so here we concentrate more on the core because core is the light guiding region. Okay, so coming to the classification based on the material, so whether it is made by glass fibers or else it is made by clear plastics, we have two kinds of optical fibers. Those are nothing but glass fibers or plastic fibers. So the another one is number of modes supported by the optical fibers. So here whether they can support single mode or multi-mode. Single mode means it will allow only one mode, that is nothing but the zero order mode, which travels along the fiber optic or axis. And if it allows only axial ray, that is nothing but zero order ray to propagate through it, then it is known as single mode fiber. Or else if it allows many number of modes like axial rays, zigzag rays, okay, higher order or lower order, okay, so then it is nothing but multi-mode optical fiber. So our next one is the different optical fibers based on their refractive index profile. So we have step index optical fiber and graded index optical fiber. So we should concentrate more on this. Why? Because these create a large difference while guiding the light. So next, coming to the optical fibers based on refractive index profile. So we have step index optical fiber and graded index optical fiber. So first let us discuss what is step index fiber. So in step index optical fiber, the refractive index of the core is uniform. That means same. Okay. And whenever it is nearing the cladding, at that time the refractive index abruptly changes. That means suddenly it decreases. That means whenever we consider the radial distance, okay, so in the core the refractive index is same for all regions. Whenever the light is approaching the cladding at the time. So at that time the refractive index is going to be decreased. That kind of fiber is nothing but the step index optical fiber. And the other one is nothing but graded index optical fiber. So here the refractive index of core is not uniform. That means not same. If you look at it, N1, so if you consider the radial distance along the fiber optic core axis, so it's at some point A, so if you consider the refractive index of optical fiber core, it slowly increases, and at the center it attains the maximum value, and then it again decreases till the positive point A, and whenever it reaches the core cladding interface, its values again decreases. But in two cases, that means in step index optical fiber and graded index optical fiber, the refractive index of cladding is same. So what is changing here? Only the refractive index of core. Okay, so in step index optical fiber, the refractive index of core is same, and at the core cladding interface it is going to be decreased. Whereas in graded index optical fiber, so we have the refractive index of core is not uniform. It slowly increases, and at the center, okay, it will attain maximum value and then again decreases. So this kind of process is nothing but means here the refractive index follows a parabolic path. So parabolic path. So that is why the light rays which are transmitting through the graded index optical fiber will also follow the parabolic or elliptical path. So let us see how it is done. So based on, by considering all these things, means all these different categories, that means glass fibers, the plastic fibers, and based on how many modes are permitted with I mean, how many modes are permitted through the optical fibers, and then how the refractive index of the core is varied. So we have mainly three types of optical fibers. So those are nothing but single mode step index optical fibers, okay, multi-mode step index optical fibers, and multi-mode graded index optical fibers. So all those factors have been combined, and totally optical fibers are classified into three main optical fibers. So first let us discuss what is single mode step index optical fiber. So here single mode tells us, so only one mode is supported by the optical fiber. Step index means here the refractive index of the core is same, and at the core cladding surface the value is going to be decreased. So this is nothing but step index refractive, okay, sorry, refractive index profile. Okay, so now if you consider the propagation of light rays through this, so since it supports only one mode, that is nothing but the axial ray, so which is flowing across the fiber optic axis. So the only mode supported by the single mode step index fiber is nothing but zero order ray, so which travels along the fiber optic axis. And next is the multi-mode step index optical fiber. So multi-mode means it will allow many light rays to pass through it. Similarly, step index optical fiber means the core, okay. So the core refractive index is same, and only at the core cladding surface its value is going to be decreased. Now if you look at the number of rays that can be traveled through the multi-mode step index optical fiber, so since it supports multiple modes, okay, so axial rays are supported by it. Similarly, zigzag rays also can pass through multi-mode step index optical fiber. So here at the center we have dashed line, that is nothing but the zero order ray which is propagating through the multi-mode step index optical fiber. And similarly, so whenever we incident another light ray at the angle greater than the critical angles, it will undergo total internal reflection and follows a zigzag path inside the multi-mode step index optical fiber. Since multiple modes are supported, so there can be higher order as well as lower order modes supported by the multi-mode step index optical fibers. And then last one is nothing but multi-mode graded index optical fiber. So here if you look at it, the refractive index of the core is not uniform, so it follows parabolic path. So only at the core cladding surface the refractive index is going to be decreased. So that is why the light rays which are flowing through the graded index optical fibers will also propagate as the helicals. Okay, they follow helical path or parabolic path inside the graded index optical fibers. So that is why you have this kind of curves rather than straight lines. So here, since many modes are supported by that, we can see many light rays flowing to the multimode graded index fibers. So here we will not have any kind of dispersion, I mean intermodal dispersion to the graded index fibers, which results due to the time delay. So in the disadvantage of this multi-mode step index fiber is that, so higher order modes, so they will reach the destination very quickly than the lower order modes. So there is time delay. So this is eliminated with the help of multi-mode graded index fibers. Why? Because the rays which are traveling at the edge of, which are traveling beyond axial rays, okay, so will take longer path. So since they take longer path, they will reach the destination quickly. So here are the another rays, okay, lower order rays. These are nothing but the lower order rays, the higher order rays. So they take less path to travel, but they travel very slowly. So that is why the time delay at which we means where we get at the receiver, the time delay between higher order modes and lower order modes can be eliminated with the help of a multi-mode graded index fiber. Okay, so here we have three different modes supported by the multi-mode graded index fibers. Those are nothing but axial rays which travel along the fiber optic axis, that is nothing but zero order ray, and we have higher order rays, that means which take less means least distance to travel, and lower order rays which take longer path to travel. So here due to time delay present between them in previous case, so this can be eliminated with the help of parabolic nature of graded index optical fibers. Graded index optical fibers. So here the lower order rays, they travel means they travel for longer distances, but they travel very quickly. So whereas the higher order modes which are nearby the axial rays, they travel slowly, but they travel in for lesser distances. That is why the delay can be covered with the help of this parabolic nature of graded index fibers. So that is how we are going to reduce the time delay that is existed in case of multi-mode step index optical fibers. So that is for today's lecture. Thank you so much.